1. The cast, me and Angry Lady. Place A. A company that works with recycling products for money. They will give you credit for items directly when you buy products. Pretty sweet and super instant on your bill, as long as you mail it in ASAP and don't play the system. Place B. Our stores, and technically where I work. I've worked tech support for my company variously for over 6 years. I moved to a post-sales position due to Corona, and the insane things people think is okay to do to their electronics. I still get crazy calls, but I don't have to share screens or sell anything, so I'm peachy. And a little less stressed. But the stupid and self-entitled people do not make my life any easier. So today, the Angry Lady calls in with the bank card on the line with her. Okay, we don't normally do things this way. She was super upset and mad because we took back a credit for a computer she did not trade in correctly, yet, "Check the recorded call, she said it would be fine!" She turned it in at place B and got instant credit for mailing it in to place A, like she was supposed to. She started off at a pre-screech level of half-yelling into my ears, and this progressively got louder as she huffed and complained and explained the situation. And also telling me to check prior calls is like asking a rock to roll over. Not happening. Can't do it. I'm not management. The store, place B, gave her credit, and she applied it to her bank card, and boom! She now has that instant credit card for, let's say, $100, on top of the credit from place A. Now, the place A she was supposed to mail her computer to charged her back for the money and the cost of the prepaid shipment box. $118.55. She's livid, and I offer her $20 to offset the shipping charge. Because I'm nice, I'll try to do a good thing. And she isn't too bad yet. The silence for 10 seconds. Then it happens. She inhaled, and I hadn't braced myself. She went ballistic on me, full Karen, and asked for a manager, screaming about everything. The callback time for a manager in my department is 9 to 11 full days on a good week. This was explained thoroughly, and she demanded I still try to call one now, with her son egging her on in the background. Whatever, let's waste our time. I still get paid because you're being rude. I do the whole call over to a manager, check in every 2 minutes, wait 10 minutes in total, make huge notes and a callback request, come back and tell her what's next. "I work customer service, and I know how it works. Go see if you have a manager now." I check, is it 15 minutes hold now for a manager? And no one's there but waiting music. Come back again, and they will call her back in 9 days, and she flips again. I advise I can check one more time, but then I have to release the call. She agrees. I check and come back. "This is just not how you promote good customer service. Why can I get a manager so much faster usually with you assholes?" Well, usually when you call tech support, you can get a manager in 3 to 10 minutes, depending on the day and the call volume. That's super easy. Over here, on my side of things, here at Place B, there are just so many calls we have. This procedure is in place to get things in order, have well-detailed notes on your account, and our managers will usually go above and beyond to help you given the chance. But depending on the caller notes, depends on how much we can do. She goes silent and asks me to check one more time for a manager, a little nicer this time. I oblige, then come back, and she rants about how she isn't paying her bill and wants all the interest credited to her, and is in general belligerent to a point. I let her rant, then advise I will check on the line one more time. Still stuck in hold music hell, and then advise we will call her back in 9 days. She finally gave up, but honestly, she didn't see her error. She got instant money at a store for her item. She did not mail it in, as was the original procedure. The store did not mail it in, they just instant credited her and said it would be fine. She applied instant credit to her card, which made her total amount so much smaller and seem like a great deal. She fucked up. She can't do the math of get a credit at place B, then place A will recharge their amount back. And it wasn't an instant credit on the order, and they have every right to. 2. I work at a small shop designing and building professional quality video hardware for TV and movie studios. I mean small. At the time, there were 3 employees and the boss. In such a small environment, It is expected that everyone has a wide variety of duties and responsibilities. But each of us has a primary responsibility. Anyone who has worked in a mom and pop knows what I'm talking about. My duties range from inventory control to shipping, receiving to sales and technical support. Primarily, my specialty was technical support. One of our products places a bug in the video stream used for station identification. If you've ever watched TV, look in one of the corners of the screen during a broadcast, and you'll see the station's call letters pop up. Yes, I know, don't hate me for putting up those annoying logos. In the USA, the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, requires it. These aren't the easiest things to set up. It's a very specific series of steps that must be performed if you want any chance of getting the product to work. So one day I got a call from a radio station in western Colorado needing tech support. What a radio station needs a bug for, I don't know. Not my place to question. Just get it working for them. I got a call from the radio engineer. "Thank you for calling. How can I help you?"
"I've been fucking with your bug generator for 2 days and I can't get it to work. I have to get this working right now."
I can tell this guy is frustrated. I would be too if I'd been trying to get something working, and it just doesn't seem to want to. "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see what I can do to get this up and running for you. Can you describe what your issue is?"
"I just told you I can't get your fucking product to work."
Okay, well, let's start from the beginning. What OS is your computer running, and did you install software version, give them the software number, from the included floppy disk? Yes, at the time, we were still sending out the software on 3.5-inch floppies.
"Of course I did, but your product won't communicate with the PC."
Can you confirm that the included interface cables are connected to your PC's serial COM port, and the other end is connected to host on the product?
"Yes, I've already done that. I'm the engineer here. Don't you think I would have already tried that?"
I'm thinking, well, I have to start at the most logical place where comms would be interrupted, but okay, this guy is smart and knows his shit. Okay, let's go into the software and make sure it's talking on the correct COM port.
"I've already done that."
Well, just so we're on the same page, I'd like you to please confirm what COM port the software has selected.
"How do I do that?"
Wait, what? Didn't this guy just tell me he already did this? He should know where to click in the software to see what COM port is selected. Please open the software and across the menu bar click on COM port and tell me what port number is checked.
3.
Okay. Let's tell the software to wake up the product. Click on COM port and now click on...
"I already did that."
Yes, sir. You did click on COM port to confirm the port we want to talk on. But now I need you to wake up the unit. So click on COM port and move the mouse down to Wake All Units and tell me if the front panel's LED blinks. This will tell you if communication has been established and we can upload your logo.
"Yeah, now what?"
Did the LED blink?
"What LED? There's no LEDs lit up on this."
Okay. Is the product plugged into the power adapter and is the power switch flipped up or on?
"Of course it's plugged in."
I can hear him flip the power switch. Okay, is the green power LED on or off?
"It's on again. I told you I've already done this."
Obviously not. Okay, click on COM port and scroll down to Wake All Units.
"Didn't you just hear me? I said I already did that."
Sir, I'm just trying to help, and the only way I can do this is by going through each step.
"Fine. What do I have to do now?"
After you clicked on Wake All Units, did the LED blink?
"I don't know. I wasn't looking at it."
Not going to hurt the product to wake it up again. Let's make sure the PC and product are actually speaking with each other. Please click COM port and Wake All Units. Tell me if the LED blinked after you clicked Wake All Units.
Yes, the LED blinked 3 times.
Phew. The units seem to be working, and I don't have to give him the wonderful news of having to return it for repair. Great, let's get your bug uploaded.
Yeah, this is where I've been having trouble.
I'd say it started before he showed up to work a couple days ago. Okay, click on File and open Bug. Now, I don't know where you've saved your image file, so you'll need to locate it. Click on it, and then click Open.
I don't know where it is, just help me load something into it, and I'll put my real bug in later.
Not an unreasonable request. That's why I created and included some sample bugs. Okay, click on File and Open Bug. Now scroll to the folder with the company name and open it. You will see several.
Are you not listening? I told you I don't know where our image file is.
Yeah, they heard you in the next county. I understand that, sir. I'm going to have you open one of our sample bugs included on your installation disk. These images are to give your graphic designer a sample of what this product is expecting when you upload an image.
Fine. Just let's hurry up.
Duh. I don't really want to be on the phone with this numbskull anymore either, but I'm pretty much the only person on the planet that can help him. This is not a boast. Even the boss doesn't know how to get these products working properly. Okay, click on File and Open Bug. Scroll to the folder with the company name and double-click it. You can select any of the images you see here and click on Open.
I can't believe this is taking so long.
Do you see sample bug in the software?
I don't see it on the TV screen.
Yes, sir, we haven't uploaded it to the product yet. We've only loaded it onto the software. Do you see sample bug in the software?
Yes, for Pete's sake.
Great. Now we're going to upload the bug into the product's memory.
It's about fucking time.
Why didn't I just stay in bed? Okay, click on File and Upload Bug. This should take about 30 seconds. 30 blessed seconds of quiet.
Nothing's happening. I don't see anything on the TV.
Okay, I did assume he had the unit hooked up to a source of video and then to a TV monitor. My mistake. Oh geez, I'm sorry. Do you have a source of video going to the input of the product and the output of a TV monitor?
No, I didn't know it needed video to work.
Yes, sir, this product will put a bug on top of your video. It doesn't have an internal video generator, so you will have to provide a source of video. Unfortunately, it is a common misconception, but everyone pretty much just accepts it and finds something to put out video, i.e. VCR, it's the 90s, DVD, or a video test pattern generator.
Hang on, let me find something.
Thankfully, I get a couple minutes to hang the phone over my shoulder, sip a soda, and rub my cauliflower ear, while he finds some kind of video source.
You still there?
Yes, sir. Are we ready to proceed?
Yeah, what now?
Do you see your bug on the TV monitor?
No, I had to turn the product off to plug in video.
No, he really didn't, but a good tech probably would have, so I'll give him that one. However... Okay, did you save the bug to the product before turning off power?
What do you mean?
After you upload the bug, you will then need to tell the software to save the bug into non-volatile RAM. Otherwise, when you lose power, the bug is lost and will need to be re-uploaded. At this point, I could probably have just opened a window to hear him screaming,
"Are you fucking kidding me?"
I'm sorry, sir, but no, I'm not kidding you. Would you mind clicking on Comport and wake all units?
Fuck this, you don't even know your own product. I want to talk to your manager right fucking now.
Yes, sir, please hold the line. I put him on hold and walked to the back office where the boss is, and am followed by my other two co-workers. B, I got a guy on the line that wants to speak with you. He says I don't know our products and is...
I heard. People on Mir heard.
Mir was the Soviet space station before ISS. He's on line 2. I'm sorry, boss, I really tried. Boss gestures for us to sit while he answers the call. He hits the speakerphone to answer.
This is B. Yeah, I've been trying to get this product working for a week, and the idiot I was talking to doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. You're gonna help me and then educate him on how to properly handle your customers. Sir, the person you were speaking with knows more about that product than the person who designed it. I heard what was going on.
I swear this is what he said.
You were too stupid to own our product. Return it and we will refund your purchase.
And then boss just hung up. He looked at me and said,
And that's how you deal with that.
After the three of us picked our jaws up off the floor, Can I buy us some drinks? We never did get the product back, nor did we hear from that radio station again. I wonder if it became Radio Engineer's new doorstop. 3. I work at a hospital switchboard. For a bit of context, it's the smaller of the two hospitals in my town. It's apparently so small that the higher-ups think that we don't have enough work to do, so now we do the following for 4 different hospitals, all about an hour from where I work. It's not all just answering then transfer, it's finding patients, paging doctors, paging codes, overhead paging, handling about a dozen answering services, all with unique forms, contacting on-call personnel, maintaining on-call schedules, getting yelled at by people who want COVID shots, fielding technical questions, etc. It's a lot, and frankly, more than I can remember most days. There are a few things that we absolutely never do. We cannot and do not schedule appointments, have the ability to see scheduled appointments, know the location of most doctors' offices in the building next to the hospital. It's owned by the medical school, not associated with us. Most critically, we cannot ever under any circumstances give out medical advice or express medical knowledge. Most of us do not have any sort of experience in the field. I know basic first aid from my time in the Girl Scouts, but even then I'm not permitted to give any advice or aid over the phone. I'm more than certain it's to protect myself and the company from getting sued. I'm used to, but frequently still grossed out by people telling me their medical issues over the phone. No, I don't want to hear about where your sore is. Please do not tell me about what issues you're having down there. Or my favorite, the woman who oh so casually told me, "My daughter's turning blue, and I don't know how to use her EpiPen." That one came in while I was working at a different switchboard in town about a decade ago. I was a teenager and panicked because I'd never used or even seen an EpiPen before. So now that it's well and truly established that I have basically no medical experience and can feel nothing regarding that area, I'll tell you about the lady I just had. Yes, I got so annoyed I immediately started writing this. Here's my cast. It's a very small one. There's Karen, and there's me. I didn't realize at first that I was dealing with a Karen. I really should have. But hindsight, I suppose, is 20/20. There might be a few minor embellishments. I'm ADHD, and while I tried to capture it all on paper before it slipped from my head like sand in an hourglass, I did have to patch in word choices in a couple places. I hear the telltale bing of an incoming call in my ear. Then I hear my own voice say, "Thank you for choosing St. Anna Sakaj Hospital. This is me." We all have greetings, so we don't lose our minds repeating the same thing a million times. The woman's voice on the other end is calm, pleasant even. "Yes, hello, I'm a mother, and my child is in a different hospital we're not affiliated with, in a town which is 1.5 hours away, and I want to consult your burn unit." Of course. I say to her in my best customer service voice, "Hold on just one moment, I'll connect you to them." I typed in the code for our burn unit. All our units have a code. It's a number then a letter. So it's just 2 keys, which takes less than a second. This is not really something too unusual. We have a really good burn center from what I've heard. Despite my frequent brushes with burning myself, I haven't since I've moved here. And not to brag, but we're one of the best hospitals in our state, and have received awards for patient care, among other things. This wasn't good enough for Karen, apparently. "No," she said in a voice that made me stop. My finger hovered over the enter key, which would send her on her merry way. I cursed myself for not being fast enough, because just those 2 letters were frosty enough that I knew the rest of this interaction would not go well. You get a sense for it when you've done this for as long as I have. Then she went on in a calm and even tone that absolutely questioned my intelligence, and let me know I was less than the dirt beneath her shoe. "Where are you sending me? Because I don't want to be sent off some random place. Are you just sending me to some number you can get off the internet? Because I tried that. I don't want that." In writing this down, I realize I should not have said them. I should have said, "1 moment and I'll connect you." Or simply just, "1 moment, please." But she had specifically requested the burn unit, so I thought she would have the comprehension skills to understand that. I don't know why you would assume someone at a switchboard for a hospital would have to Google their own internal numbers. At worst, we have it on a piece of paper at our desk. Why would I need to Google it? So I took in a deep breath and said, "Ma'am, I'm going to send you." Before I can even finish speaking, she decides it's still her turn. "Because I need to talk to someone about my son. I need a burn consultant." "I'm going to send you to our burn unit," I explained. "Well, why can't you just take my consult?" "Ma'am? I'm just a switchboard operator. I can't take your consult. I will have to transfer you to someone who can. Now Karen was starting to get frustrated. I wanted to tell her that she would already be talking to them if she had just let me transfer her. Well, I already tried that. Don't. I don't want to get sent somewhere random. Where exactly are you sending me? Ma'am, it's not somewhere random. It's the nurse's station, I tell her. Well, they didn't answer last time. It's almost a snap. I don't want somewhere random. It takes everything I have not to snap. Well, maybe the random internet number you found wasn't actually the right one. Instead, I maintain my probably too chipper customer service voice. I will send you right up to the nurse's station. Someone will answer the call. There's always someone at that desk. I guess that was enough to placate her back into her calm but still condescending tone. That would be fine. Send me. Finally, I get to utter my parting, "One moment, please," and send her off to the burn unit to make her their problem. It just irked me so much for several reasons. Why would you assume I'm just going to yeet you into the void? I have not and will not ever send someone somewhere random. I've been working at this hospital for 5 years, and the last 10 working at medical-related switchboards. Maybe things are different in that time, but I highly doubt it. The fact that even after telling her I had to transfer her, she just assumed that I would be able to handle her consult was also frustrating. If I can do it, I'm not just going to send you off. Most of my calls last anywhere between 10 to 30 seconds. There are only usually 2 to 5 people working at any given time, so the longer we take, the more slammed our coworkers get. We don't have time quotas. We know we can take as long as we need to on a call, but that should have only lasted as long as "I need the burn unit, one moment please." I don't mind taking the time for a caller to make sure they understand. This week I spent 15 minutes on a call with a man who was really clearly struggling with a lot of issues and needed help. I'll take as long as you need, as long as I know I can help someone. The fact that she was so condescending through the whole thing just really ground my gears. Yes, I work what seems like a menial, mindless job, but I'm not stupid. I have a bachelor's degree. I've published 7 books. I spend my free time learning things for fun. I'm not an idiot, so don't treat me like one, Karen. It feels good to rant after the last 4 months of hell fielding COVID-related questions, and getting yelled at because I can't personally get every person a shot. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed rolling your eyes at this, Karen. And please stay safe. 4. I used to work customer service at a call center for any of the large prison phone contractors in the US. As such, our level of crazy belligerent calls is and was a little higher than in some other fields. I'll be the first to admit, some of the complaints we heard truly were a mixed bag of craziness on the customer side, and poor practices and services on the company side. Now, I have a pretty thick hide, but this is one of the few calls that shook me. So I took a call one evening from across the country. The woman on the line sounded older, a bit peeved, but otherwise pleasant enough. I started by pulling up her number, and the first thing I notice is the account has been accessed a lot by our agents. Unfortunately, due to the practices of our call center, notes in general were often non-existent or extremely sparse. I do, however, see quite a few tickets made to the tech team. Customer goes on to explain how terrible the service is and how her loved one can never get through, and that she can't accept calls. She goes on to explain that she is a pretty prominent figure in her city, which actually was true, surprisingly enough. Our call center did not allow for placing customers on hold. I mean, you could, but it killed your metrics. I'm told the company's contracts actually called for under X amount of hold time for the customer. So I was pretty much prompting her to continue her ranting with lowball questions about what she was experiencing with the calls when they couldn't connect, while I look up call records and such. During the course of this, she mentioned several times how she has heart issues, and how important it is for her loved one to be able to connect the calls when he makes them. This would be all fine and good, as I was actually quite good at my job. I knew all the little tricks with their phone system and various carriers and how to fix them. However, as I'm looking through the records, the issue is her loved one just isn't calling. Sadly enough, this is pretty common. For whatever reason, some people in jail or prison just do not call, even when their loved ones keep balances on the phone accounts. When they do finally call such and such a person funding their phone time, it seems the common excuse is, such and such company just sucks. I call, but it doesn't go through. The thing is, if the phone at the jail is connected and the number is dialed, with our system I would see that the number was dialed, even if they only let it ring for half a second. If the phone had a dial tone, I would at least see it as a call attempt. At this point, I know it's going to be a bad call. I double-checked the handful of last tickets opened, and sure enough, they were all for the same thing, and all of them were answered with no calls being made. With no other option, I start breaking the news to Ms. Prominent Figure. While I'm explaining, I cue the last few calls she received, all of which connected for the max allotted time for the facility, or close to it. Just to be sure audio quality was okay. Jail phone calls are never crystal clear, but there's only so much you can do about that with normal cell block noise in the background. I explained to her I've seen the other calls she's made to the company, and double-checked her tickets, and that on all of them the techs found there was no problems calling out to her line, and that they all show the inmate not calling. I explain I've checked the call records to her number and give her the times and dates for her last 2 months of calls. All the while she just gets more and more agitated. She keeps circling back to how important she is, and how it's impossible that they aren't calling her. Mrs. Prominent Figure begins telling me how awful I am for doing this to an old woman, and saying that I'm giving her chest pains. I try my best to keep her calm while also explaining that there is nothing we can do to force her loved one to call. She demands a supervisor. Unfortunately, I was an escalations agent, and our soups did not take inbound phone calls. She begins making pained, croaking, gasping noises and disconnects the line. I spent the last few years of my father's life as his caregiver while he was awaiting a heart transplant, with an LVAD unit implanted on his heart. The last time I had heard those types of sounds was when my dad would regularly go into congestive heart failure, prior to his LVAD unit. It is a very distinct way of gasping for air, and I have to assume it was intentional. I did call her city's non-emergency number for lack of really knowing what else to do. My supervisor told me to take my next call or use my own time to call it in, and explained what happened, provided name, address, and phone number. That was the last I really heard of it on any official level. I googled her name, which is how I know she was in fact a prominent figure. Prominent enough that if she had been rushed to the hospital there would have been a headline about it, if only to announce the disruption in the work she had been doing. 5. It's been a few years since I worked at a call center, but something reminded me of this and I just had some horrible flashbacks. A lot of people who work in call centers will say that it's usually not a good thing if they remember a caller. Sometimes you get a great one that stands out, but more often than not, the ones that stand out are the bad ones. How bad was this one? It's been 2 years since I had to deal with him, and I remember his name, email address, the charity he ran. We'll touch on this in a moment. And at the time of this call, I even recognized his voice from previous calls with him. Yes, I had the displeasure of speaking to this guy multiple times, and every one got escalated to a supervisor. Now about where I work. I can't reveal too much, but it was an online marketplace, so think places like eBay, Amazon, Wish, etc. People would sell products, others bought them, all that fun stuff. I specifically worked in support for people who were selling. A little tangent. So many people who sell online are such assholes. This may be a generalization, but the number of times I had people who would bitch and moan about a return or a complaint or a negative review is ridiculous. They would always blame the customer, say they were trying to defraud them, etc. This specific person was one of the worst. Someone requested a return and refund. Clearly the person was abusing the refund policy, so we should cover the refund for him. Someone left a negative review. Clearly they're lying, so we should remove it. Even when he got his way, that wasn't enough. He'd continue to demand we refund fees, give him credits, etc. By the first time I spoke to him, this had been going on for so long that he had gotten almost 2 years' worth of fees refunded. He basically came up with some ridiculous reason and call at least once a month to try and get fees refunded. Remember the charity? This guy ran a charity that was supposed to help abused and at-risk youths. Yeah, the guy who seems to spend his free time abusive and yelling at mostly young adults. Many people were in their early 20s here. I think a couple were even 18 or 19. Ran a charity that was supposed to help abused teenagers. I even looked up the charity at one point, and they had fishy shit going on, including adults who pretended to be teenagers on the phone, in order to help them feel more comfortable. And along with this came a superiority complex about how he was so great because he cared so much, and most people didn't donate to charities, and how it's ridiculous that he has to pay fees in the first place. First call I had with him included a 20-minute tirade about this, and I really wish I had commented about the fact that he hadn't been paying fees for years. And God help you if you didn't give him what he wanted. I got called an idiot, told I sucked at my job, etc. Luckily, this place did allow us to hang up after a warning, and he did get in trouble for his behavior. Last I saw, he was suspended and issued a warning that if he abused the staff again, he'd be permanently banned. Sorry for a lot of info, but on to the story. As soon as I answered the phone, I recognized the voice, and when he gave me his email, I honestly just wanted to hang up on him and walk away. It was a usual situation. He screwed up, but it was somehow our fault, and we needed to reimburse him and ban a buyer. The result of this fuck-up was pretty damn hilarious, though. He sold the guy a pair of used headphones and accidentally mailed him brand new headphones that were very similar. That's something that happens now and then, and can be pretty easily resolved by reaching out to the buyer, explaining what happened and either giving them the option to keep the more expensive pair and take the L on the difference, or offer to pay return shipping and send out the right pair once they received it. That seems like the logical way to resolve it, right? Well, when he realized his mistake, he sent the customer the correct headphones immediately, attempted to have the package intercepted, and when it couldn't be, contacted the customer and told them to refuse delivery. Now, I don't side with the customer on this either, but apparently the customer received both sets of headphones, then requested to return the ones he ordered. So yeah, the customer was trying to pull some shit too by returning the cheaper pair and keeping the more expensive pair for free. But in the end, the person who sold them is the one who sent the wrong ones, and didn't even make sure he could get them back before sending another pair. His demands were that we ban the buyer for fraud and, of course, credit him for any fees. I refused because there is literally nothing we can do about this. We can't verify if he actually sent 2 pairs of headphones. We only have records in our system of 1, and the buyer is completely within his right to open and keep a package that was addressed to him. He didn't like this, so demanded a supervisor. I had to put him on hold while I went to get one. Here is where the hilarious shit starts to happen. I get back on the call and let him know it will be about 5 to 10 minutes, as the supervisor was in the middle of something, but before I could say anything, he snaps at me.
No, I waited for you, now you wait for me.
I could then hear him talking to someone on another phone. This idiot had called the police. I can't describe how good it felt to listen to him slowly become more and more deflated. I could only hear his side of the conversation, but it was pretty obvious that the police were putting him in his place, and very likely trying not to laugh at him. He was seriously trying to report a buyer for fraud and stealing mail that was addressed to him. The call did not last long. It's clear the police weren't going to do anything about it, and when he got off the phone with them, he was still being an ass and still demanding a supervisor, but all the steam was gone. When I did transfer him to a supervisor, it was a very short call. So, a customer got a pair of free headphones, and an asshole got put in his place. Luckily, this was the last time I had to deal with him before I switched departments, but found out later that he got the warning. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Please Hold, Episode 9. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use and sent in stories for use in this video. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't like the video, fair enough, if that's your honest reaction. Feel free to leave a comment and a dislike. But if you are rude in your comment, I will totally tell your mom and your grandma on you. Okay, where are we? I totally didn't just get distracted while doing this outro and go looking for sunglasses on Amazon. I'm actually in need of a new pair right now. I've got like ones, I tend to pick up like cheap ones sometimes when I see them, but I've also got one pair that are less cheap with really good polarization on them. And my current pair of what we'll call the really good ones are by a brand called Dirty Dog. I actually thought it was Devil Dog, but apparently they're called Dirty Dog, which is an unusual name for a company. But it turns out I've had them for 3 years, near enough. So I've gotten a lot of use out of them. I would like to have gotten more use out of them, but they're all kind of scratched on the lenses now. So time for a new pair, which will likely take me several months to find ones I like, because it took me a while to find those ones. Well, maybe go the same brand. I might try something else. We'll see. I did look at Ray-Bans last time, because there's certain things I will just get the cheap version of. Other things I'm a little more willing to spend more cash. I think if you have the option of spending more cash, I mean, obviously not everyone does have that option, but if you have the option, I think it's a good idea to spend money on things like sunglasses with polarized lenses, because they'll protect your eyes more. It's always the thing where you find something and think, oh, I quite like that. There's that one little detail I don't like. Is that removable? No, that's not removable. Okay, right, well, moving on. So yeah, that's going to be my little project possibly for this weekend. Which mostly involves sitting on the soda, sipping sofa, or some combination thereof, and blousing? No, okay, we're not blousing, we're browsing for shades. Ugh. Alright, I think I've done enough talking for today, making that video. So I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.